Good evening, everyone. Mennonite Academy is pleased to recognize 6 alumni who have demonstrated academic, spiritual, and lifestyle practices taught in God. We are excited to honor each of these individuals tonight for the many ways that they have contributed to their communities locally and globally. As each recipient comes forward, I will share information about them, and a Schrock tool will be presented. In addition, we have invited each recipient to share for a couple of minutes. At this time, I would like to invite all of the recipients to come forward and stand to my left. Outstanding Achievement Award. The Outstanding Achievement Award is based on academic, professional, and business accomplishments since graduating from God. The first recipient is Jennifer Halteman Schrock from the class of 1979. Jennifer serves as the leader of the Mennonite Creation Care Network and the communication manager at Mary Lee Environmental Science Learning Center of Goshen College in Goshen, Indiana. Jennifer has served as the coordinator of public programs at Mary Lee and served as an instructor in Mary Lee's Sustainability Leadership Program. Jennifer enjoys writing and designing, which is evidenced by the creation of several Christian education curricula, including Every Creature Singing, Embracing the Good News for Planet Earth, and Just Eating, Practicing Your Faith at the Table. She has also written units for children and youth in the Shine, Jubilee, and Generation Y series. Jennifer received her Master's of Divinity degree from Chicago Theological Seminary in 1990, and Jennifer and her husband Dan live in Goshen, Indiana. Thank you, Jennifer, for sharing your gifts and passions with children, youth, and adults. At this time, Dr. Schwarzenegger will present the Schrock.
Mennonite Academy recognizes Jennifer Halteman Schrock as the recipient of the 2017 Outstanding Achievement Award for academic, professional, and business accomplishments since graduation from Mennonite Academy. Congratulations.
Knowing what I know now about how wounds like these cherish many of the particular opportunities I had at Dock, but the most interesting stories would take more than 2 minutes. Thank you.
The second recipient of the Outstanding Achievement Award is Sandy Alderfer from the class of 1970. Sandy is an entrepreneur, businessman, and leader in our community and region. For most of his career, he served as owner and CEO of Sanford companies, which included an auction house, real estate, and transition services. Sandy has served on numerous boards in the past, and he continues to serve on some of these, such as the National Auctioneers Foundation, the Pennsylvania Auctioneers Association, Harleysville Bank, Montgomery County 4-H Foundation, Goodwill Mutual Insurance Company, Spruce Lake Retreat, Indian Creek Foundation, United Way, and Grandview Health Foundation Board. Recently, Sandy sold his auction house, but maintains the commercial and real estate side of the business. In 2016, Sandy was inducted into the Pennsylvania Auctioneers Association Hall of Fame. Sandy and his wife, Gail, live in Harleysville. Thank you, Sandy, for sharing your gifts and passions through church institutions, business, and professional venues. Dr. Schwartzer will present the proclamation.
Mennonite Academy recognizes Sanford Alderfer as the recipient of the 2017 Outstanding Achievement Award for academic, professional, or business accomplishments since graduation from Mennonite Academy. Congratulations.
It's been an amazing journey. Jen said, how did they pick her? And I said, how did they pick me? Sarah was trying to buy my 2 minutes last night when we were at a function. I'm not sure if that was to keep me quiet or just she needs more time. I came here in 10th grade, waited till 10th because I wanted to make sure my sisters were out. 2 years can be wrapped up real quick. A couple of months ago, my wife was cleaning out. We're getting ready to be somewhat empty nesters, and Gail is not here tonight. She is also a graduate of Christopher Dock and class of 76, and she had report cards laying around, so I looked at them. It's rather amazing. I won't say what faculty taught some of these classes because some are here. Junior class, final grade, English, D+. Social studies, C. Science, D-. Math, D-. German, C-. Music, C. I never could sing better than that. So, my senior year, he said, well, what are we going to do? Quitting was never an option. We weren't allowed to quit any started. So I proved to them I was not going to college. So then you become a general. Okay? My 12th grade year, or the report card, final grade. Well, first of all, there is 12 excused absences and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 unexcused absences. And they're all in the second and third quarter. Now, what can you do in the second and third quarter? You can hunt and snowmobile. It was interesting. Mother's signatures were on my junior report card. Senior year, well, we're going to have to put him in typing 1 because he can't go in. You know how many cute freshman girls are in typing 1 and they're a senior? So here's my senior year. English, C+. Bookkeeping 1, C. Typing 1, C. Sociology, C. Economics, C+. Art, B. With a number 1. Unsatisfactory conduct. The faculty, I say that to say we all learn differently. I believe Mr. Lickney was our yearbook advisor in his senior year. And he said, why don't you and Phil Landis principal, and he called and he said, "I understand you're not going on to college." Like he was surprised. "No, I'm on the kill floor at Warrior Passion." He said, "Well, we'd like you to work with mail and salary. We're trying to connect with newer alumni to start developing some donors." And it was because the faculty here believed in me that I stayed here. And it's for the years that I stayed on the board was to make sure that we graduated good, solid truck drivers, masons, bus drivers, and so I just appreciate that everyone put up with us. It was a long journey.
The second category of awards is Distinguished Service Award. The Distinguished Service Award is based on mission and service involvement after graduating from Dock. The first recipient is Sarah Bergin from the class of 1988. Sarah serves as the Executive Director of Care and Share Thrift Shops in Sanford, which is one of a network of thrift shops throughout the United States and Canada, benefiting Mennonite Central Committee. Care and Share accepts donated items for resale, including clothing, books, furniture, toys, antiques, tools, and appliances. Since Care and Share opened its doors, it has been able to donate over $14 million to Mennonite Central Committee, which has been used to support missions and disaster relief worldwide. In her spare time, thanks to her daughters, Sarah rediscovered her love of playing the flute and singing in the choir. Sarah and her husband Ian and their 3 children live in Hatfield. Thanks, Sarah, for sharing your energy, enthusiasm, and love of people as you make a difference in the world. Dr. Swanson.
Dock Mennonite Academy recognizes Sarah Bergin as the recipient of the 2017 Distinguished Service Award for mission or service involvement since graduation from Dock Mennonite Academy. Congratulations, Sarah.
About 40 years ago, when I was 7 years old, my family moved from Abington to Quakertown. Being active members at a non-denominational church in Abington, it was important to my parents to find a church to attend that very weekend. Now, in the days prior to the internet, how would you find a church the night before? Well, you drive around backcountry roads and read signs with flashlights. And that is what my father did for an hour, and returned home saying, "I'm not quite sure who those Mennonites are up here, but there are a lot of them. They are the only ones who post what time their church starts in the morning on their signs." And as you must have guessed by now, we became Mennonites. About a year later, my sister became very ill and ended up needing life-saving surgery at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. When my parents went back and forth to the hospital, I was taken care of by my grandmother and a host of caring people from our congregation, Swamp Mennonite Church. It was amazing to me to have people I hardly knew ready to come in and support my family. They cooked, they cleaned, they washed the sheets, they baked us funny cakes, like what an odd name was that. They were doing it. We continued to attend Swamp even after my family moved back to Southampton. As I approached high school, each Sunday, Horace Longacre would relentlessly pursue my mother about where I was going to go to high school. Because both of my parents were social workers, sending their children to a private high school was really not part of their budget. But if you've had the pleasure of knowing Horace, when Horace had an idea, he was going to make it happen. I attended Dock because of Horace and the Mennonite education plan. Anyway, I'm not going to really sugarcoat it. High school was not easy for me. I didn't fit in. I started high school knowing 3 people. I lived too far away to do after-school activities, and I was painfully shy, seriously. Dwayne Halteman is here tonight, and he can attest to that. But I met my husband through a former Dock Exchange student program. shopping in my favorite store one day, of course, which is Care and Share, and I had a surprising negative experience with a volunteer, and this did not sit well with me, and I wrote them a letter. They apologized. I went back. It happened again. Different volunteer. I was perplexed. How is this store showing God's love if they treat me, an average shopper, with behaving children this way? It made me think back about the church ladies I knew who baked me funny cakes and showed me their love by helping my family. If I ran this place, I told myself, you would feel the community. You would be part of it. The executive director position became available at Care and Share, and I pursued it like Horace went after my mother. I felt the call, I prayed. That waiting seemed to go on for months and months. And finally, Keith Hebner, Martine Hisnan, Ray Minninger, and Robert Nice offered me the job. Yahoo! Care and Share's proceeds benefit the relief, development, and peace programs with MCC, and I always loved MCC because of their community approach. They walk alongside people that are in need, offering friendship and support. They develop relationships with all of God's people. Soon into my new job, I realized it was going to be a difficult challenge. Not everyone wanted to be part of the community the board and I envisioned Care and Share to become. But little by little, in God's timing, with the support of the board, the staff, and engaged volunteers, Care and Share continued to grow and blossom. As I accept this award recognizing distinguished service, it is with a grateful heart. I have the daily pleasure of serving with amazing servants every day. We are a community, and our community is what makes us successful. Thank you.
The second recipient in this category is Dr. Eric Bishop, class of 1974. For 37 years, Eric served as an inspirational and caring teacher and mentor to many students at Christopher Rock Mennonite High School, who dedicated his life to serving Christ as a stimulating and motivating educator for multiple generations of God's students. Eric's creative and engaging teaching techniques and love for students made his classes and presence on campus memorable. Eric earned his BA in English Education at Eastern Mennonite University, his MA in Education from Arcadia University, and his PhD in Curriculum and Instruction from Kent State University. Throughout his career, Eric authored many articles and stories in local, regional, and national publications. Eric and his wife, Linda, live in Souderton. Thanks, Eric, for making a difference in the lives of many students and inspiring them to reach beyond what they thought was possible. Congratulations.
Mennonite Academy recognizes Dr. J. Eric Bishop as the recipient of the 2017 Distinguished Service Award for mission or service involvement since graduation from Mennonite Academy. Congratulations, Eric.
Everywhere, we learn only from those whom we love. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, 18th century German novelist, dramatist, poet, humanist, scientist, and philosopher. Everywhere, we learn only from those we love. On Thursday morning, September 6, 1973, after an hour-long bus ride from Doylestown, I walked in 15 minutes late to Harvey Bauman's family living class on the second floor of Rebel Hall. I was still only 16 years old, and it was my first day as a student at DOC, a senior. 9 months later, in the final chapel of the school year, right about there, I announced during an open microphone service that the 1973-74 year had been the best year of my life. I I've been keeping journals since age 15, and I have a written record of every single day of my one and only year as a doc student. So I can proclaim with a strong testimony that what Goethe said is true. Everywhere, we learn only from those whom we love. I would like to explain why I am quoting Goethe on this occasion. It is because that statement captures why that year was a turning point in my life, and also a major reason why I returned 4 years later to teach here, and why I stayed so long. For the first 6 weeks or so, I felt that I had made a huge mistake in leaving my friends and the familiarity of Central Bucks East High School for my senior year, primarily so that I could get a Christopher Dock High School diploma. But after establishing one friendship at a time, which included the Bishop Brothers Band, I was eventually hooked, and I never looked back. Though I entered Dock as a mostly C and D student, even in my English classes, I worked harder scholastically than I ever had before, and I made the honor roll for the first time in my life. Though my combined SAT score was a puny 840, I even came to believe that year that maybe I was college material, in spite of my earlier track record. Over these past 40 years, I realized that the 18th century schoolmaster Christopher Dock was not the only educator with a special love for youth. During my year as a Dock student, I felt genuine love from such teachers as Richard Lichty, Gerald Benner, S. Wayne Kaufman, Roland Yoder, and Corrine Zimmerman, even though she had to give me a D- in personal typing. The genuine phileo and possibly even agape love motivated me to care about school in all of its aspects. Is it any wonder then that I soaked Roland Yoder's shoulder with my tears on graduation night? Is it any wonder that I returned to this place in the fall of 1978 as a 21-year-old English teacher in the making? It would be dishonest for me to say that I loved all of the students that I had over my 37 years of teaching at Dock, and presumptuous to say that I felt love from all of them. But I did bond with quite a few. I tried to demonstrate, articulate, and reflect the love, care, attention, and affirmation that I had received here as a student. And I continue to stay in touch with a number of my former students through emails, jam sessions, and occasional visits. The faculty, administrators, and staff that I was privileged to work with, some of them my former teachers, were for the most part people who freely offered me love, grace, affirmation, forgiveness, prayers, and support, especially during the long period of sickness that cut short my Dock tenure. I'm honored to have served with them, and now I cherish the weekly breakfasts with many of my former male colleagues as they provide me with a lifeline to Dock Mennonite Academy. I am both humbled and honored by this award for service. And though the seeds of service were first planted in me through the modeling of my late parents, Vernon and Ann, and my brothers, Jim, Bob, Michael, my sister Becky, and by their respective spouses, those seeds sprouted, grew, and blossomed in the rich soil of my total Dock experience. And if each of you were to reflect on your own educational journey, I suspect that you too would have to agree with Goethe. Everywhere, we learn only from those whom we love.
graduating from Dock, Jessica attended Eastern Mennonite University, where she received her bachelor's degree in elementary education. Following graduation, Jessica taught high school for 2 years at Leza Academic Center in Albania, which is located east of Italy along the Mediterranean Sea. Upon returning, Jessica served as pastor of children's ministry at Souderton Mennonite Church, and in 2015 was licensed as a children's pastor. Currently, Jessica is enrolled as a full-time student at the Master of Divinity program at Drew Theological School in Madison, New Jersey. She's also serving as part-time associate pastor at Percy Mennonite Church. Jessica is a friend to everyone, a thoughtful and inspiring writer, and effective presenter. Jessica and her husband Pat live in Telford. Thanks, Jessica, for making a difference in the lives of children, young people, and adults as you serve Christ in your daily walk.
Dock Mennonite Academy recognizes Jessica Hedrick Miller as the recipient of the 2017 Young Alumni Award for demonstrating academic, spiritual, and lifestyle practices as outlined in the graduate profile since graduation from Dock Mennonite Academy. Congratulations, Jessica.
So, like many of the other award recipients up here, I too was quite shocked when I got the phone call saying that you will be one of our Young Alum of the Year award recipients. I never imagined that I would stand here 10 years after graduating and having this opportunity to speak with you tonight. I came to Dock my freshman year after attending Penview Christian School, which is now part of Dock Mennonite Academy, as the two merged into one. And so I knew a lot of people, but I was very, very shy. I was one of those kids, I never ran for any office, no class president, none of those things, because I was always sure someone else would get chosen and not me. I was not the most popular kid in school, but I did have friends. But I found a home at Dock. I found a place, like some of our other recipients have shared, that was safe, a place where I could learn and grow, a place where I had teachers who I felt respected me and gave me opportunities to develop leadership skills that I might not have had in another school situation. While I was here, I served on chapel committee and I worked on a number of other extracurricular activities. And I remember one day getting an English paper back from Mrs. Schrock on which she wrote, "You are going to go to seminary someday." And I thought, no way. Not me. I'm not going to seminary. And yet, here I am, enrolled in seminary full-time. Those were the kind of relationships that I had with the teachers here. Sometimes they knew things about me or saw things in me that I couldn't see in myself. After I graduated from Eastern Mennonite University with my degree in elementary education, knowing that I was going overseas to teach high school students, I wondered, who can I go to for advice on teaching high school? Who can I go to for resources or insight? And I knew that I could go to my former teachers from Dock. So before I left for Albania, I met with a couple of my teachers, including Karen Johnston, who so happily provided me with ideas and materials for the science classes that I would be teaching. And I felt so supported and continued to appreciate the community that I felt while I was here. When I came back and I had the opportunity to be children's pastor at Souderton Mennonite Church, I got to go to Pastor's Day at the elementary through 8th grade campus, the early childhood 8th grade campus. And I would walk around to see my students in the classrooms, and there were many teachers that had been there when I was there, and they all remembered me by name. And they would greet me with a smile and tell their students, "This is Jessica. She used to be a student in my class." That's the kind of relationship you get when you send to this school or when you have the opportunity to be here yourself. You get support, you get community, support and love that continues to follow you for the rest of your life. So I pray that this institution will continue to be a place of nurture and growth where students can discover their gifts and grow into their fullest potential.
The second recipient in this category is Drew Skinner from the class of 2002. Following graduation from Dock, Drew enrolled at Roberts Wesleyan College in Rochester, New York. While student teaching in the city of Rochester, Drew experienced deep poverty and educational dysfunction at one of Rochester's high schools. After graduating from Roberts Wesleyan, Drew sensed a calling to teach in the city of Philadelphia, which led him to Philadelphia Mennonite High School and Mastery Charter High School. After witnessing the profoundly positive impact of Christian schools on Philadelphia students, Drew realized he wanted to do more to support these students. Drew began volunteering with the Children's Jubilee Fund, a scholarship organization that provides K-12 educational scholarships for students. This involvement grew into his role as associate director, and now he is serving as executive director of this organization. Drew and his wife Ashley and their son live in Philadelphia. And thanks, Drew, for your passions and dedication. You've made a significant difference in the lives of hundreds of students through your work. Thank you very much.
Mennonite Academy recognizes Drew Skinner as the recipient of the 2017 Young Alum Award for demonstrating academic, spiritual, and lifestyle practices as outlined in the graduate profile since graduation from Mennonite Academy. Congratulations, Drew.
Hello. Thank you for this award and honor alongside the other recipients. And as a way of thanks, I'd like to share about how my time at Dock influenced and shaped my journey. To this day, both personally and in my role professionally, what helped to fuel my passion for my work and education in the city and my personal values are the moments when Dock teachers and coaches invested their time and energy in me. Whether it was Mrs. Rock, Mr. Durstein, or Mrs. Histon, dedicating fall and spring evenings to assisting and coaching me to act and sing in Dock's musicals and plays, or Dr. Bishop engaging my mind and my heart through novels and conversations after class, where he challenged me to critically think and pursue a personal worldview, or Mr. Smucker encouraging me and my teammates to pursue excellence on and off the soccer field. I sensed that the teachers and coaches at Dock cared and believed that I had a future beyond high school, and that there was potential in this then extroverted and energetic 17-year-old. Though my wife will tell you, I'm still pretty extroverted. The Dock experience was made up of passionate and compassionate leaders who cared deeply for my story and the stories of my peers, who engaged us through rigorous academic study, as well as thoughtful spiritual and community formation. These influences shaped me and fueled my passion to become a teacher in Philadelphia, and today to work rigorously to create opportunity for students in the city to have access to the same type of life-giving education. Education that is both challenging academically and spiritually engaging, and ultimately, education that provides a place for students to call home. These influences joined to shape my high school years, alongside my church community and my family, inspiring and cultivating my own personal values. Values informing and grounding my life today as a proud father of my teachers, thank you staff, and thank you leadership at DOC for your investment in me 15 years ago, and thank you again for this honor.
I'm going to ask the recipients to just stay there for a little bit and get some photos. And family members, if you want to take some photos as an opportunity, I have an announcement. Everyone is invited to the cafeteria after our program this evening to greet and congratulate these recipients. We'll also have ice cream and coffee and punch back